Just a couple out trying to enjoy a nice boat ride on the bay.
All right, get up to the bow. Get up to the bow.
Get up in the bow.
Get up to the bow. You okay?
I'm all right.
All right. Woo. I don't know what we're gonna do about this. Dan. Need some help over here. Holy moly. All right, here.
Also, that last part, it sounds like he's calling for help from nearby boats to help lift that bad boy off his boat. Kinda cool, but quite the mess. A poor hiker just enjoying a peaceful walk through the woods. Sun's a-shining, birds are chirping, typical relaxing nature stuff. But, everything changes. He realizes there's something behind him. As he spins the camera, we can see a massive figure, pretty perfectly camouflaged, just standing there in the distance. It's circling around what looks like some kind of makeshift shelter, but look how it moves. It's not like someone out for a hike. Its movements are weird, and another part, I don't know that it knows that it's being filmed, at least not yet. But now the question is, what the heck is that? The comments section is at war over this one. Team Bigfoot is all over this footage. They're pointing out how this thing towers over those nearby trees. We're talking at least 7 feet tall here. The natural camouflage, the way it blends in, and that shelter matches exactly what Bigfoot researchers say these creatures build in the wild. But hold up, the skeptics have some solid points too. This could just be someone who's gone off grid. Hand-built shelter. It definitely feels more human. Maybe it's just some survivalist out there practicing bushcraft skills. But also, if that's the case, it might even be scarier. Why are they following this person? Anyhow, what's your call on this one? You sticking around to get a better shot, or you doing what I would have done and hightailed it out of there? Dead of the night in a forest road miles from anywhere. A group of friends driving home when their headlights catch something pretty ridiculous.
What the?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the, dude?
No.
They were soaked.
A woman moving strangely, soaking wet on the roadside. No car, and definitely no explanation for how she got there. The friends drive past, and honestly, who wouldn't? But conscience gets the better of them. They circle back, find her collapsed, and call the police.
There she is.
Bro, what the? See? That was it!
She's crying.
Having spent the entire night thinking about this, they return. In daylight, they discovered disturbed ground and a pond deep in the woods. Almost like she dragged herself from that pond somehow.
Yep, she had to have come up out of the water. Yep, there's a dig spot there. So she came up from down there. That's had to have been why she was so wet.
And the million-dollar question, what is she doing in a pond at 3 a.m. in a remote forest? Apparently the police report, well, they didn't get much further. It offered no answers. Some viewers believe this was an escaped victim. Others suggested fugitive hiding. The more supernatural theories, everything from water spirit to something wearing human skin. Would you have stopped that night? And be honest, I've thought about this, and if I knew it was a woman, I would have definitely stopped. For a guy, maybe not so much. Granted, I'm in a car, what's going to really happen? You got 4 or 5 friends with you, he's not going to overpower you. I guess the worst he could have is a gun, but anyway, put your wildest theories in the comments. Out of nowhere, unsettling sounds come ripping from an abandoned cave nearby. Most locals say, yeah, screw this, we're staying away. Smart move. But as you all know, there's that one curious group that decides to investigate. As they venture deeper, their flashlights reveal something their eyes can't believe. A woman on all fours moving creepily towards them. Her jerky, unnatural crawling immediately sends chills through the group. And when she spots them, she starts moving quicker. When the men came out of the cave and reported it to authorities searched. But absolutely nothing. No trace of anything, no trace of the crawling figure, no footprints, no evidence anyone has ever been there at all. Not even them. Now, what's going on here? Some locals believe she's a vengeful spirit from village folklore. Skeptics suggest a homeless person with mental illness. That's all good and well, but neither of those explains her impossible movements and her complete disappearance. So tell me, what do you think happened to that crawler after the camera stopped rolling? Middle of nowhere, dead of night, one brave or foolish man decides the swamp is a great place for a nightcap. Then he hears it. The unmistakable toll of church bells echoing through the murky darkness. The audio is crystal clear on this footage. Those are definitely church bells. It doesn't take a spy to tell us that there is no church, no buildings, no obvious source for the haunting sound that continues to ring out across the swamp. Some viewers believe he stumbled upon a time slip, moments when past events briefly bleed into our present. Others suggest sounds can travel for miles over water, especially at night. The more paranormal theories, they're saying lost souls are calling others to worship in churches long since swallowed by the swamp. Or there's something ancient mimicking bells to lure curious humans deeper into the darkness. Which might have worked. That might be what we're seeing here. Now, what do you think was behind this eerie phenomenon? And could anything make you follow these mysterious bells into the nighttime swamp? Now, I've seen this clip before, but I gotta say, usually it's covered in a bunch of different emojis from TikTok, so this was like the clearest version I could find. Check this out.
There's a full bed right here. Look at this. All this stuff is matted down, literally matted down. I can't roll off this thing left or right. Literally couldn't do it. Let me have that camera. You see how this is all, it's a dish. It's literally a place to lay down.
It's clearly been slept in. It's been inhabited. And I want to say bed, but this is a nest. It's up in a tree in an elevated position. Deer don't do this, elk don't do this. Something that thinks critically or is intelligent had to have done this. It seemed very strange in this particular setting.
Look down below me.
There's more than one nest.
These aren't your average bird nests. We're talking serious construction. Thick branches and twigs intricately woven together with apparent purpose and design. Their location? Perfect for surveillance and safety from predators. Russell, who spent decades researching cryptids, believes these are Bigfoot family dwellings. Specifically, maternal nests where mothers care for their young. According to Russell, the smoking gun, clear compression marks indicating something heavy regularly sleeps there. Now, no known North American animal builds structures like these at this height. Bears don't climb this high to build. Birds don't construct at this scale. So what's creating these elaborate aerial shelters? Well, the forest keeps its secrets well, but sometimes leaves clues hidden in plain sight. Are we looking at genuine Sasquatch architecture, or is there another explanation? What would you do if you stumbled across one of these nests during your next hike? Head to the comments and let me know if you're Team Bigfoot or Team There's Gotta Be Another Explanation. Quiet Minnesota town surrounded by snowy forests. Peaceful, right? Well, not lately. Residents reporting bone-chilling roars and glimpses of a massive shadow with glowing red eyes. Most stayed inside, but not TikToker Jesse. Woken by an ungodly roar, Jesse does the unthinkable. Grabs his phone and heads toward the sound. Deep in the woods, he starts recording. The footage captures blood-curdling screams, primal, otherworldly. Then, Jesse makes the ultimate horror movie mistake. He shouts back at it. The creature responds, snapping branches.
Got something coming down, man. I got something screaming down there. I don't know what this is, man. Something screaming down there, man. Hello? Where are you? Show yourself right now!
Jesse hides behind a tree, then the video cuts. Jesse followed up with viewers and said he stayed frozen while something massive sniffed around him, hunting him before vanishing. His research has led him to believe that this was a Wendigo. Experts note this timing matches centuries-old legends about forest guardians appearing during winter solstice. The video quality is surprisingly clear for night footage. You can see Jesse's breath in the frigid air and hear the genuine terror in his voice. Local wildlife officials initially dismissed it as a moose or a bear, but after analyzing the audio, admitted the sound matches no known Minnesota wildlife. Native elders from the region have remained notably silent when asked about this footage. Some viewers slowed down frames just before the cut and swear they spotted a pair of massive clawed hands reaching from behind a nearby tree. Honestly, let me know if you saw that, because I didn't, but what do you think was stalking these Minnesota woods? Undiscovered predator or something supernatural? Drop your theories below, if you dare. Sorry, I'll never do that again. YouTuber Outdoors with Eric chilling in the forest when suddenly strange sounds getting louder as he investigates. Now this is a long video and he does a lot of talking.
You guys hear that?
Watch when he flips to night vision. Holy crap. Two weird figures moving between the trees. And it actually looks like they're getting closer. What are these things?
That's bizarre. They're coming closer. It moves. Yeah.
The naysayers are claiming they're just deer distorted by infrared, but I really don't think they are. Others swear they're skinwalkers or wendigos because of that unnatural movement pattern. If I was Eric, the main thing I would be noticing is that they're moving toward me. Now, is that just a coincidence or am I being hunted? I don't know, but I wouldn't take that night vision off of them. This next clip shows something interesting from a remote flying community in northern Ontario, about 350 kilometers north of Thunder Bay. Locals there keep spotting two Bigfoot creatures, a larger one and a smaller one. Sightings have increased lately, especially around areas like Thomas Bridge and Pioneer Ridge. One local shared a video showing clear tracks in hard-packed sand heading into a marshy forest. The tracks are about 14 to 15 inches long, clearly larger and wider than human footprints. And get this, a massive 5-foot stride. And now a lot of people in this area are saying that, yeah, like this isn't uncommon. Witnesses are saying that these sightings usually happen in the spring and summer, almost like the creatures migrate to the area during those seasons. Just a few nights ago, campers at Pioneer Ridge even reported eerie cries coming from the woods. People from the community, including a local named Isabel, spotted something tall, around 6 to 8 feet, standing near their powwow grounds. Initially, the group thought that their eyes were playing tricks on them, but multiple other witnesses confirmed seeing the same thing in different areas. Now, if you've ever been to Northern Ontario, it is pretty isolated. And honestly, I don't think it would surprise any of us if there's actually a really big Sasquatch population hiding out there. Let me know what you think about this. Do we think this could be solid evidence of Bigfoot activity? Okay, this nighttime security footage from Turkey is freaking creepy. Off to the left of our screen, the camera captures a small humanoid figure just wandering alone. And yeah, at first glance, it resembles a child. Maybe even smaller, possibly like a toddler newborn. And while of course that's weird, the truly unexplainable moment? This thing suddenly steps off the ground and floats into the sky. It disappears off screen, then returns, landing and continuing its path across the street. Like, Some viewers claim that they can tell that this is a camera glitch or some type of digital manipulation. Maybe. Others believe it could be authentic footage of something supernatural. I'll say this. The smooth transition from walking to flying is pretty difficult to explain. And if we consider the cultural context, Turkey sits at the crossroads of ancient civilizations with rich folklore traditions. Some theorists suggest that this could be a jinn from Islamic mythology, supernatural beings that can appear in various forms. Others point to fairy legends that exist across many cultures. The real problem is the CCTV footage complicates the analysis. It's definitely making identification more challenging. Anyhow, drop your theories below. Camera malfunction, hoax, evidence of supernatural entities. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Video from a stewardess on an Alaskan Airlines flight shows something absolutely insane. A passenger pulls open the door. And immediately puts everyone on the flight in danger. You gotta be a special kind of stupid. The pilot was able to land the plane safely and eventually the panic subsided. While the man claims it was a mistake, he was promptly arrested, as he should be, as soon as he walked off the plane. He's facing quite the jail sentence should he be convicted, up to 10 years in prison. Honestly, he shouldn't be able to fly again either. If it was malicious, well, give him some very serious consequences. If he's just a bonehead, well, maybe he should never fly again. A vacationer to England got quite the surprise on the taxi ride from the airport. Stuck in a small traffic jam, the unthinkable happens. The driver of this truck misjudged the clearance and smashed right into the overpass. Miraculously, no one was hurt, but a pretty good scare, I would imagine, and quite the welcome to a different country. Okay, pretty crazy story here out of Florida. A veteran Bigfoot researcher is being hounded by a guy. Calls, emails. The researcher has no idea what this guy wants. Well, he eventually sends the pictures. The man in possession of the pictures agrees to meet the researcher in Florida, where these supposed pictures were taken. At the last minute, the man cancels, and proceeds to do that 3 more times upon them having made reservations to meet each other. The researcher's spidey senses perk up and take a deeper look at the pictures. Out of the blue, he remembers an event from a few years ago. A book signing he was doing in his home state when out of nowhere, a man in a Bigfoot costume rushed the table. It was quite the ruckus. Of course, it scared the crap out of a lot of people. Other people loved it. Some snapped some pictures. But this researcher thinks that this could be the guy that did that. The guy that rushed the book signing might be the guy that's sending in these pictures. He overlays the pictures side by side, and it does look like a pretty good match. He's convinced now that the guy's just yanking his chain. This is a pretty funny Bigfoot costume. Look at the part where it attaches to the gloves. Of course, we need more information, but what do you guys think about this? Would you trust the guy, or do you think that this looks pretty close to that picture? We start in Lee County, South Carolina. Sheriff's deputies respond to what they think is vandalism. What they find is something else entirely. A car literally torn apart, motor wires ripped out, hood ornament snapped off, and the fenders? Actually bite marks in solid metal. The scene tells a disturbing story. Reddish hair scattered around. Strange muddy footprints circling the vehicle. Not your typical vandals. Not your average wildlife. Some locals blame teenagers. Others suggested bears. But what teenager or bear bites through automotive metal? Well, I'm not buying either explanation. Witness accounts flood in. Locals describing a 7-foot-tall greenish-brown creature stalking the back roads. They named it Lizard Man. Reports claim it ran at highway speeds, attacked multiple vehicles, terrified residents. The investigation leads to Scape Ore Swamp. Massive 3-toed footprints discovered in the mud. Local biologists examined them and came back with a verdict: unclassifiable. The footprints matched no known species. Some experts suggested that they were an unknown reptilian species, but they were far too big. We have the skeptics, and they are claiming that this is an elaborate hoax, but these prints remain unexplainable to this day. Footage from YouTube user Encounters26, it's grainy, but a tall figure moving with impossible speed along the swamp edge. The unnatural gait, the proportions. Could this be actual documentation of whatever mangled the car and left those prints? Are we supposed to believe dozens of witnesses all hallucinated the same creature? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on the Lizard Man. In rural Kentucky, a notorious railroad bridge spanning Pope Lick Creek. For decades, locals have whispered about what lurks here. A terrifying half-man, half-beast mutant with hypnotic powers. Not your average cryptid. This one doesn't just attack, it lures victims onto the tracks to be struck by speeding trains. What the... Let's focus on the descriptions from eyewitnesses. Some claim it's goat-like with human features. Others describe it as more demonic. The hypnotic ability? That's what separates this entity from other cryptids. What kind of creature could possess the power to override human survival instincts? The most chilling aspect is that this legend kills whether the monster exists or not. In 2013, a couple visited the bridge, attempting to recreate a scene from a film about the Pope Lick monster. The woman died, struck by a speeding train. Her husband ultimately survived, but the damage was done. The legend had claimed another real victim, without the creature even showing itself. This raises the disturbing questions about the power of folklore. Could the collective belief in the Pope Lick monster create something more dangerous than any physical beast? What if the real monster is our fascination with the forbidden? The railroad company has erected fences and warning signs, but trespassers continue to risk their lives. Some seeking thrills, others hoping to prove or disprove the legend's truth. As for now, it appears that sometimes the deadliest legends are the ones that make us forget real-world dangers. Let's head to a sewer in France. A group of friends hear strange noises coming from their local sewer. They grab cameras, head to the entrance, and there you go. Something shows itself. Not even a known animal. This thing pokes its head out like it's studying them. The moves feel calculated and deliberate, something perhaps smarter than a typical animal. Some viewers that have seen the clip are calling it a deformed animal. Others say it's an entirely new species. If we focus on the features, the head shape, the eyes, nothing really matches known urban wildlife. Some say this could be evolution happening right beneath our streets. What if decades of isolation, chemicals, and human waste have created something entirely new in these underground worlds? I guess you can't completely write that off. And if this exists under one city, how many more could be lurking worldwide? How many strange noises from storm drains aren't just water pipes? A mysterious UFO-looking disc spotted on Google Maps has triggered chilling theories. The white object, discovered in the mountainous region of New Mexico, about 34 miles from Sevalita National Refuge. Google Maps are showing a metallic-looking top on the disc. Part of it is obscured by surrounding vegetation. The remote setting adds to the intrigue. No roads, paths, or homes are nearby. A Twitter account dedicated to ufology shared screenshots, prompting speculation that it's a crashed UFO. Several Redditors chimed in, noting the area's lack of water sources and private land ownership, making the structure's existence even more puzzling. Early Google Maps snapshots from 1996 show no sign of the disc or any connecting path. A YouTuber known as Michael, or the Earth Watchman, measured the object at around 30 feet in diameter, suggesting it might have become half buried after a crash landing. Meanwhile, the Metabunk website proposed a more mundane explanation. Their research found a 1975 photo of what appears to be a small structure with a pathway leading to it, a possible rainwater catchment rather than any extraterrestrial craft. The theory is that the original structure was removed, replaced, or changed over time, explaining the current disc-like image on Google Maps. Well, that's not nearly as exciting as a UFO. What do you guys think? Now, what in the heck? I'm not sure how I missed this one. Video taken from New York in 1997 says to show a juvenile Sasquatch swinging in the background, and I'll be damned.
Here to camp, and Kenny's main objective is to burn cans. And if you notice within the fire, and Doug, please get a shot of this.
No one loves an inadvertent Bigfoot capture more than me, so I love this video. We hear the guy talking at the beginning, he's half in the bag, talking about burning cans, yada yada, and all this is going on in the background. I mean, look, clearly something is swinging in the background. So if this is actually taken in New York, we're in business. No primates of any kind are known to live there. I'll kick this one to you guys, but it has me very intrigued. Does anyone know of anything that would debunk this? This might actually be one of the scariest videos I've seen. Let me try to give you a little backstory. Owner Kent Burris has lived in the infamous Lamb House for over 6 years. It's located in Carmel, Maine, and he's documented relentless paranormal activity within these walls. He actually has a YouTube channel named Ghost of Carmel, Maine. It showcases dozens of encounters with what he calls Shadow Dude, a dark entity that seems to stalk the premises. But honestly, that's just the beginning. Ken recently downgraded his EVP equipment after paranormal experts advised him that the older cameras often capture spirits better than the modern ones. Then came this footage, and I don't really know what to say about it.
While I'm walking through the house, I hear these strange sounds, and I hear movement throughout the house. And I've already captured an apparition jumping out the window once before, but on this day I turned around and there was something, a strange anomaly in the window. It was just sitting there in the window and it looked like it was moving. I ducked behind around the doorway, not knowing what was going to happen, and that thing took off from the window and went under the bed. Okay, there he is in the window again. Went under the bed. After I viewed the video from this encounter, what I saw in the video looked nothing like what I saw in real time. In real time, it looked like another small shadow apparition sitting in the window. I've captured this 2 times before. One of the captures actually looked like a small apparition jumping from the window.
An apparition that resembles a massive cat. Kent owns a cat but insists that this is something else. Larger, shape-shifting, and behaving nothing like a normal feline. When encountered in person, the entity was sitting in the window and then kind of changed forms and slid down the window and under the bed. The way it morphs suggests something far more sinister than a simple ghost. I don't know what's going on. Some viewers believe we're looking at a skinwalker. Others suggest residual spirits from the building's history as an undertaker's home once owned by Edmund Lamb. Kent's evidence has actually impressed many paranormal investigators, and they've visited and confirmed unusual activity. Now here's the weird part, and let me know what you guys really think about this. Kent has disabled all the comments on his videos, so others can't weigh in. So, is it a skinwalker? Is it a shapeshifter? Is it some other type of spirit? I mean, this thing freaks me out, but I find it a little sketchy that old Kent here has disabled comments. What's up with that, buddy? A trail camera used for tracking the animals that use this watering hole for drinking water picked up some very strange sounds. The owner explains that no one has access to this part of their property and they have never heard sounds like this before. On a suggestion, the owner sent it off to a renowned wildlife biologist for voice recognition, but the voice didn't trigger any known species. The expert came back with a declaration of inconclusive. While the owners, they don't necessarily believe in Bigfoot, many are saying that this is exactly what they've captured. The owner of the camera says, quote, "I never really have believed in Bigfoot or ghosts or anything paranormal. I'm curious about what's making the noise and more open to the Bigfoot idea than I was at the beginning. That's for sure." Look at this. Look how cool this is.
What the hell?
Wow.
There's a bald eagle on our deck. Does it want to eat Noki?
It wants probably.
Wow.
It would if Noki went outside. Oh, she's tagged.
She's tagged.
Yeah, look at her leg.
Could she carry our dog away?
Oh, hell yeah, she could.
Oh. Noki, that bird wants to eat you. Oh my goodness, is it crazy?
No.
Do you think it's hurt?
No. Throw her a piece of steak out the other window. See if she'll go after it.
Wow.
Trying to ask what invented the Pope.
Where's my phone? FaceTime somebody.
Yokai are supernatural creatures, spirits, and demons from Japanese folklore. They encompass a broad range of beings from mischievous tricksters to terrifying monsters, and even benign or helpful spirits. However, most of them are not. They come in many different forms, but these guys didn't become famous from being nice. They take the form of shapeshifters, animals or inanimate objects turning into human or monstrous forms. Well, a family thinks they might have caught the latter on camera. Check this out. So tell me, what do you think? Did they catch a yokai? Or do we think we're looking at a camera glitch here? Popular YouTube channel 401 Files. Remote forest, miles from civilization, no roads, no cell service, just trees, wilderness, and, well, something else.
Okay, so I'll just give you a quick tour of my bedroom for the night, what I've built up. I've got all these little sticks to create the perimeter. Got my fire there. My bike, obviously. So I'm going to be sleeping here next to the fire, not too close though, obviously, because I've got an inflatable mattress and I don't want that to blow up. One lesson I've always learned really helps.
The footage starts innocently enough. Birds singing, leaves rustling, distant animal calls. Classic camping content.
I don't know how much of me you can see. Let me show my torch. But can you hear that? Wow, it's a good job I know what the hell that is. Because I would be shitting my pants right now had I not come across that sound before.
First comes the darkness, then the terrifying scream that cuts through the night. Now we heard the screams, but slow, deliberate footsteps circling the tent. Not random forest sounds, something methodical, purposeful. Something that knows he's inside. Hour after excruciating hour passes, the footsteps never leave. Sometimes closer, sometimes further, but always there. Our guy remains frozen. Dawn finally breaks and the forest falls unnaturally silent. That's when he makes his escape, quickly packing and fleeing whatever had been watching him. Would you have stayed put or taken off in the middle of the night? And what do you think was circling his tent? That sucked. A picture-perfect lifestyle. Australian couple living the dream, sailing tropical waters for 4 months, documenting everything for their YouTube channel. In December of 2023, on a remote stretch of Australia's coastline, the couple anchors near a small, uninhabited island for what they thought would be a peaceful night, a nice place for their feet to touch solid ground. The next morning, they head ashore to explore.
Oh man, nothing can really prepare you for that. We were not expecting to find anything like this. This is crazy. This is more bones here. It's a pile of bones. I was checking out that wasp's nest, and below it is a whole stack of human bones. We might have stumbled across
a burial site.
Yeah, something quite sacred here, like a sacred burial site. We were hoping at best to find like some Aboriginal cave paintings that we could show our respect to, but we bloody never expected to see this.
A human skull with bones carefully arranged beside it. Their footage captures the raw shock and confusion. They're not really sure what to expect. Their initial fear was of a crime scene. However, they had a realization that they might have just discovered a traditional Aboriginal burial site. These sacred grounds contain remains preserved through ancient practices where flesh was removed but bones carefully preserved. The couple's reaction? Immediate respect and retreat. The camera barely captures their quick departure as they scramble back to their boat to find another place to anchor up. Yeah, you think? Well, what would you guys have done in their situation? Have you ever wandered accidentally somewhere you shouldn't have been? I don't know what's going on, but this is another clip I found of a creme de la creme Bigfoot video that has been enhanced, and it's the clearest I've seen. I know you guys will recognize this one. This is the Provo thrower. In December of 2012, a hiker in Provo comes head-to-head with an aggressive bipedal creature. We see the hairy, muscular build, although in this particular instance, the creature doesn't seem to be that towering tall. But still, massive being. Many enthusiasts are saying that this is an aggressive adolescent male Bigfoot, and I could really see this. What is interesting, something I never picked up in the first video, is that you can really see the moment our beast notices the cameraman. He crests the hill and he tries to squat quickly, unsuccessfully behind this tree. As we see him start to move again, we see him raise up and sidearm sling this rock right at the guy. Of course, this bit of aggression was taken as a not-so-subtle hint, and our guy got the heck out of there. Can't blame him for that. Now, even though this type of behavior is uncharacteristic of many Bigfoot reports, here's how I feel about it. I almost feel like he was embarrassed that he got caught and kind of turned to anger. Just how a teenager might not be able to handle their emotions and lash out. I'm sure we've all had some experience with that. Wink, wink. I really think the Bigfoot had no intention of being seen, got caught up in the moment, kind of just lollygagged out into the open. And frankly, once he knew his cover was blown, he was pissed. He went from trying to hide real quickly to lashing out in anger. I don't know, it's one of the most famous clips, but I love how this one is enhanced and zoomed in. I hope you guys like it. Let me set the stage here. A newly formed yet to be named wolf pack has been successfully hunting elk on the National Elk Refuge for the past few months. Well, one morning they decided to cross the Gross Venture River into the Grand Teton National Park, where these bull elk are not like they are over in the refuge.
They got him. Oh, he kicked one. There's two right on. They got them on both flanks. Oh!
Be careful, big guy.
Oh my god, it's like toying with it. There's three on it. Well, there it goes. There you go. They're coming down. Hunt number 5 today.
Each one of these ended in failure. This clip doesn't need a voiceover. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Check this out. This next clip takes us deep in the Modoc Mountain State Park near Littleton, North Carolina. And this state park is an area whispered about among cryptid enthusiasts for its history of alleged Bigfoot sightings. In fact, the nearby town of Littleton even boasts its own Bigfoot museum dedicated to sharing local tales and witness accounts. But what happened here in this clip has raised more than a few eyebrows. A motion-activated trail camera stationed in the park for several days typically recorded the usual suspects. Well, in August of last year, everything changed. The same camera was tripped by something that left observers rattled. A humanoid figure strolling through its field of view. Not once, but twice. The strange figure seemed perfectly at ease, as though it had no idea it was being filmed. But here's the bad part. Unfortunately, there was condensation on the lens, making the figure blurry. If you look closely, you can see the outline. Many think it's Bigfoot, tall silhouette, the unusual stride. Skeptics are arguing that it just might be a hunter or camper caught on camera at an awkward angle. But yeah, the moisture on the lens definitely screws everything up. This ain't exactly a crystal clear shot. Anyhow, that's where you come in. What are we thinking? Bigfoot encounter? This place is a hot spot. Or could it simply be a person obliviously passing by? The debate is on, but I think you know which one I'm going with. A camera on the backside of a remote cabin in the forest picked up something pretty sketchy. Moving across our screen, we see what appears to be a ghost. Well, it at least has ghostly qualities. The wispy outline drifts to the right of the screen and eventually goes out of sight. Now, this was enough to set off the motion camera that picked up this clip. I think that's worth noting. If this were just some fog, I don't think it would be strong enough to get picked up by the camera. Currently, we have no answers as to what this could be. Maybe you can help. Okay, this might get taken down, but what is this? These kids leaving all early morning at the same time? Is this true? I mean, I need way more information. This next clip was originally posted by TikTok user named CarolineArn4.
But later, when I got home, I zoomed in and slowed it down and saw this.
Caroline's known mostly for lighthearted daily vlogs, fun memories, and just your kind of run-of-the-mill entertaining snippets. But on that particular day, her feed took a drastic turn. Caroline had taken her dog for a stroll, soaking in the peaceful view of a tranquil lake surrounded by trees.
Do you ever get a feeling that something's watching you? The dogs kept looking up into the trees.
She pulled out her phone, hoping to share a glimpse of nature's calm with her followers. Instead, she unwittingly captured a chilling surprise in the background. At first glance, the scenery seems innocent enough, but when Caroline gets home, she examined the footage more closely, zoomed in, and discovered a massive, dark figure looming within the tree line. Yeah, that's the part that made the internet collectively erupt.
The trees, and at one point I heard something. There's the original video. But I didn't see anything at the time.
Some onlookers tried to chalk it up to a gorilla or an ape, but yeah, there are no native primates in that region. So if we rule out a rogue zoo escapee or traveling circus misplacement, what else could it be? Standing tall, covered in dark fur, and moving with an unmistakably humanoid gait? That's right, this creature fits the description of the cryptid known as Bigfoot. But here's my deal, and maybe I'm crazy, but doesn't this thing look to be like 20, 30, 40 feet tall? I don't know. But whether you're a diehard skeptic or a devout believer, you have to wonder what else might be lurking in these woods, just beyond the edges. YouTuber Mo Sarkey, who is an urban explorer usually exploring abandoned buildings. Well, he and a buddy decide to switch it up one weekend. And things quickly take a turn once they hear some gunshots ring out in the forest. Before they decided to settle down for the night, both of the guys are pretty sure that they hear a kid yelling or crying in the woods.
Dude, I'm getting the weirdest vibes out here.
I don't like it.
What is that? We just heard another 4. Now we're hearing coyotes. There could be somebody out here hunting for coyotes.
It might be.
It's getting much, much darker now, as you guys can see. What the?
That's a kid screaming.
There's a kid screaming in the forest. Dude, what?
What the hell?
Guys, there is a legit kid screaming in the forest. First we heard... That's a bird. First we heard...
Those are birds. Alright, those are birds, but there's a kid in the woods screaming.
So they've got a screaming kid and gunshots going on. Too freaked out to sleep, they decide to try to find the source of the sounds.
Hello? Anyone there?
I heard that
came from that way. That's 3.
What was that?
3.
What was that, though? Something was being drugged through the woods. Listen.
Another thing they found was a skull with a light in it, which may mean that this place is more frequented than they think. Maybe it's a party decoration. They hear a weird humming, singing going on across the water. Mo shines his flashlight, but he's not able to see anything. A little freaked out and cold, they say screw it, they're gonna hop back in their tent.
I'm gonna sit here by the door, just in case anybody comes. All I hear is footsteps, dude. That's all I hear. Footsteps and just some weird noises. But yo, I'm so creeped out right now. It's cold. It's so freaking cold. Like, turn the light off. What the is that? No. No. What the is that? Turn your light off, dude. Dude, it won't turn off. What is that? Go! 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 This torture. There was somebody with a chainsaw. I told you earlier. There was someone with a chainsaw. Grab me back, grab me back, grab me back. Quick. Get up, get up, get up. Get. There was somebody with a chainsaw. What the hell is that? What the hell is that, dude? Is that barbed wire? I was in there before. Just keep going. There's somebody with a chainsaw. Just keep going. Come on. My camera shut off as I fell up the hill. What the man?
Out of nowhere, they hear a chainsaw erupt and a man slices through their tent. Or so they say. Let me know what you think about clips like this. I generally like to stick to things that I think could be real, and I don't know. A woman got a frantic message from her husband that he and their family dog were stuck on the side of a mountain. Experts using GPS location and actually infrared cameras were able to find the two stuck on this cliff. And I need to know how the heck they got there. The safety team, as you can see there are a lot of them, were able to take the man and the dog back down to solid ground. Tell me your thoughts about this. My initial thought was that maybe the dog got startled and started to run up the hill. But then again, most dogs listen better than mine does, so maybe they had just gotten lost. It was dark. The rescuers needed infrared to even find them, so glad everyone's okay. Reddit user JustSend1 posted a photo to the platform with a pretty creepy story. She says that ever since she's moved into her apartment, she has felt like something or someone has been watching her. Not like someone is breaking in, but that there is just a dark presence in her apartment. Well, one evening she snaps a selfie and she thinks she catches the culprit in the background. I have to admit it does look a little like a figure, maybe even the Grim Reaper, but people flooded the comments to be like, look lady, this is just a jacket hanging on your wall. To which she replied, no it's not, idiots. I wouldn't have posted the photo if it was. Nevertheless, I'm torn on this one. It looks like a coat, looks like it could be the Grim Reaper. I'll kick it to you guys. A few buddies mountain biking through the forest got quite the scare when this big old bear was hot on their trail.
Yeah, maybe.
Is he coming this way?
Yeah, he's walking right there. He's running, he's running, he's running. Yep.
You got a bear chasing us? I think it's scared to look back.
Yeah, he is. Go. Go.
The bear picked up their scent and started chasing after him. The guys pedaled as fast as they could and were able to put some distance between the bear and themselves. However, that was short-lived and the guys realized, hey, we're not going to be able to outrun this thing.
Our bike's up in front of us?
Yeah.
That's here. Oh. Okay, go.
No.
I know we all stand and put our bikes
We gotta stay together.
We all be big.
Get out of here!
Get out! Keep your back.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh, he's followed us for a while.
Yeah, I just want to like walk backwards down the trail. I don't want one.
I see him still.
We slowly just. Hey! You out here, bear?
They all stopped and lifted their mountain bikes over their heads, making themselves appear bigger than they actually are. They were screaming, shouting, just trying anything to scare the bear away. Well, the tactic worked and the bear fled. A little too easily if you ask me there, Mr. Bear. I mean, you did all that running, then you give up that easily? You don't even go in for a little nibble? I don't know, wasn't the best effort. All kidding aside, I'm glad those guys are okay. I'm sure that had to have been pretty scary. Yeah, well, these guys right here, they don't seem to be too afraid of these bears. Ay, ay, ay.
С руки ему дай. Погладь его, Жек. Собачка маленькая.
Tell me, are you guys getting this close? I don't think I am.
You see that right there?
This encounter was posted by a channel called Bigfoot King, featuring a hiker pushing deep into the forest. Right from the jump, you can sense this guy's anxiety. Like he's on the lookout for something lurking within these thick trees. And boom, there it is.
Okay. Where are you? Straight up front. Fucking there.
Out in the distance, a massive black figure emerges, covered in thick dark fur and bearing a distinctly humanoid silhouette. At first, the hiker thinks it might just be a weirdly shaped tree trunk, but that illusion is shattered the moment the creature moves. You can even hear a branch snap as the hiker's camera starts shaking. Panic has instantly set in.
You see that right there?
In his flustered state, the hiker scrambles to reposition himself, clearly wishing he had brought a higher quality camera to document the sighting. But despite the limited equipment, he manages to spot the thing again. Its dark fur barely visible through the foliage as it tries to hide its considerable size. The tension is tangible. I mean, as a viewer, I can practically feel this guy's pulse racing. I don't know what it is, but it's got my attention. This little clip is just kind of soothing because my kids are on spring break and I either want to jump in this or drown myself in this. You can probably hear them screeching.
I was walking along this trail. I just heard the creepiest. I don't even know. Did you guys hear that? There's nobody out here. I keep hearing somebody. Hold on.
What the heck was that? Hear someone in a man's voice saying, "Help me, help me."
There's no way, you guys. Oh my God. Oh my God.
She was able to convince her husband to go back and search the area. However, he didn't find anyone or anything. Online debaters think that this could be a mimic, a type of creature that mimics the voice generally of someone in distress or a young child in hopes of luring a potential victim. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Reports of a large Bigfoot-like creature in Alberta, Canada near this work site has finally been caught on camera.
And it would take us hours to cross from way over there.
The man that took the video explains that there's no way that there's anyone else out there. This place is desolate. Only the workers with his company are there. So to him, the odds of this being a hoax are really low. I'd be interested in your guys' thoughts. I know that this isn't the general terrain that Bigfoot usually travel on, especially not so far out in the open. But do you have any ideas? What is going on here? I've never seen anything like this in my entire life.
That's crazy.
I can't even make myself guess. What's going on here? While walking along the Jersey Shore, a couple finds these charred seats that have washed up on the beach. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, those look like airplane seats. And I'm not saying anything nefarious is going on, I just think it's pretty surreal that you walked up on this. I mean, if you can put yourself in those people's shoes, it's pretty sad and scary. But get this, apparently the local paper put out that this was waste from a nearby airport that was on a boat that fell off and washed ashore. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't have to lie to us about everything. Not everything needs to be a cover-up. Speaking of exhausting, these types of people, man, I mean, you mean to tell me your dopamine levels are so depleted that this is how you have to get your fix? You need to go to Interlaken, Switzerland and walk these hooks that are on the side of the mountain. The Reddit user that posted this said the views are great. Well, the only view I would see is the next hook that I need to stand on. I don't know. Like I've said before, the risk versus reward is not there for me. Maybe because I have kids now? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you would do this, and if you would, do you have kids? A Reddit user from Kentucky posted an alarming video to the site. The poster claimed that he was losing some livestock from his farm, and he aimed to find out why. Armed with a camera and a flashlight, he lays in wait, waiting for the creature to show up. All of a sudden, he hears movement in the brush. After a few seconds, we can see what looks like dog ears, and even a snout. Many commenters are saying that this is a dog man. And while the video is blurry and it's not great, we can see definitive ears. It appears to be bipedal, decent size, broad-shouldered. I gotta be honest, I don't know how long I'd have the flashlight on this thing. I'm much more likely to have a scope on it. Anyhow, the dog man seems to notice the man, and after a brief standoff, slips back into the woods. Now, I don't know what he accomplished here, if anything, or if this video is even true, but I'd love to know your thoughts on it. A creepy photo posted to the Facebook group Ghosts of London has people very intrigued. Two childhood friends met up to hike, and to capture the moment they snapped a picture about one of the most innocent things you could do. A few weeks later, Angie, who got the film developed, looked at the photos and stopped in her tracks. She immediately saw the face in between her and Beth. Well, if that wasn't scary enough for her, she then noticed the hand that belonged to neither of them. Of course, she reached out to Beth and said, "Hey, am I crazy? Was someone else there with us?" But of course not. Has anyone else had any experiences like this? A guide in Nairobi was deadlocked with what he thought was a paranormal creature. He and the creature stood there staring at each other. But as soon as the guy grabbed his phone to start filming, the animal's ears became unpinned. But that is probably only a tad less more comforting than a paranormal creature. The guy wrote in the comments that he must not be on his A game because he's been doing this for 11 years and normally would have easily known that that was a lion. There was just something about it. Of course, that made me think of a shapeshifter. Nevertheless, the guy lived to tell the story. This clip here proves that quick thinking can save your life. Taken in 2020 in Beirut, 3 women have gathered on the rooftop watching the fire. Sensing danger, all of the women, basically in lockstep, start heading for cover. Only seconds later, there's an absolute explosion. The explosion takes out blocks of the city, and as you can see, basically destroys this rooftop. They got out of there in the nick of time. I want to backtrack a second because something caught my ear. You remember when I said that the fire was headed towards a fireworks factory? Well, it dawned on me that if that had been 3 guys on top of a rooftop, all of us would be dead. There is no chance that we hear a fire is approaching a fireworks factory and we're not going to stay and watch. I mean, I give us under a 1% chance. That's why women live so much longer. They're smarter than us. I mean, it's just impossible for us not to stay and watch that. At least I am. Let me know if you're staying too. This particular incident hails from a YouTube channel called Miss Big Stevie.
Yeah. What? Yeah, there's back there.
Interestingly, the channel features only this single video, leaving viewers to wonder if it was created solely to share this unsettling experience. To that I'd say, well, duh. It starts innocently enough. Stevie and a friend are feeding some newly adopted rabbits, laughing as they enjoy their little furry buddies. Then they hear an odd sound from outside, stopping them in their tracks. Intrigued and admittedly a bit nervous, they head to investigate. That's when things take a turn.
You don't want that shit.
Do you hear something outside?
Yeah,
Hoping to get a clearer view, they flip on the outdoor light. As the place floods with brightness, the mysterious creature rears up and in a swift motion leaps away, almost as though it sensed their presence.
What? Yeah, there's something back there.
Stevie and his friends step outside, thinking maybe it's just a cat or a fox or some other garden variety critter. But what they witness next? The creature scurries to the far end of the yard, vanishes over the fence in a way really no ordinary animal could.
Where did it go?
So yeah, what was it? Stevie suspects it might have been the legendary Mothman, while commenters have tossed around other theories, aliens, the Flatwood monsters, or something altogether different. One suggestion is that the bizarre visitor was lured by the smell of the bunnies and suggested a vampire-style cryptid. Let me know your thoughts below. Who or what paid Stevie a late-night visit? This next clip might just set your suspicions on fire. Captured deep within a secluded forest, the trail camera in question was originally deployed to keep tabs on a burgeoning fox population. Well, little did anyone know it would catch something far more mysterious roaming through the undergrowth. Here's what we can see. A large hairy figure strolls right by the camera, close enough that only its midsection is in frame. And even with that limited view, I mean, we can tell it's tall, almost humanoid in its gait. Its footsteps pound with enough force to make a bear seem delicate by comparison. Go ahead and add that thick coat of hair and you've got yourself a prime candidate for old Bigfoot. And sure, we don't have the full picture, literally or figuratively, but from what's visible, this creature is anything but your average woodland critter. So what do you think? Is this the elusive Bigfoot? Is this some ding-dong just playing a hoax out in the woods? I'd be curious if anyone has any more information about this clip. It was a late fall morning when Ben Carter, a local outdoor enthusiast, decided to snap a few photos in a quiet patch of forest near his hometown. He wasn't expecting anything unusual, just the typical shots of the misty environment and the occasional wildlife encounter. Well, that changed after he reviewed his pictures later that day. In one of them, there's a dark figure looking like it's trying to hide behind a thick tree trunk. The figure is a good bit away, so it's hard to really make out what it is. Immediately upon seeing it, Ben's brain said, oh, this must be another hiker. Which would have been really weird because, well, the person didn't say hello and Ben didn't notice him. As he zoomed in, the shape appeared larger and more robust than he'd expect from an ordinary person. His family got him to put it online, and Ben admits that he's not entirely sure what he's even captured. Of course, some are saying it's Bigfoot, broad shoulders, the furry outline. Others don't seem to care, it's just a shadow, a person, or whatever, a camera glitch, or a hoax. Whatever the case, this single snapshot has sparked plenty of debate. It might be proof of a cryptid prowling the woods, or it could be nothing at all. And Ben says he's okay with leaving the mystery open. He's not sure he'll ever have definitive proof. Well, too bad, Ben, because now this bad boy's going on YouTube, and the viewers on here don't miss. So you're going to get some answers whether you want them or not. And personally, I can't wait to hear them. This next clip I think is great. Look at how smart these creatures are.
Someone's knocking at the door. Empty again? Because you've been stealing it? What are you doing? It's hilarious. This raccoon, who I've named Roxy, spelled R-O-C-K-S-Y, steals the cat food, and when the bowl's empty, she gets a rock and knocks on my door.
That's just the cutest thing I've seen in a long time. Keep your head on a swivel. That could have ended way differently. I thought this was probably one of the most insane clips I had ever seen, and then I realized that it was being rewound. And yes, I should have noticed that because all of the people in the video were walking backwards, but nevertheless, here we are. Filled with anxiety and what I thought was a ship smashing into this land, but appears it was just a ship launch.